We get to vote every few years. But what if once every few years just isn't enough? What if the big decisions, the ones that affect our rights, our homes, and our futures, were actually made by the people? Let's be honest, it's hard to go a single week without hearing someone in the UK say, who actually voted for this? Migrants being housed in expensive hotels while locals face a housing crisis? National legislation passed that tracks your online activity in the name of safety. Rising taxes, digital ID, and centralised decisions made without real public input. These aren't small policies, these are huge cultural, economic, and civil liberty issues. The kinds of choices that shape what kind of country we live in, and these decisions are being made without us. Now, referendums are rare in the UK. We've only had 3 nationwide in modern history. The logic from Westminster is that governing is complex and the public shouldn't be expected to understand the finer details. But here's the catch. If something is too complex for the public to vote on, maybe it's too significant for politicians to decide without consent. Referendums allow citizens to have the final say on issues that transcend party politics. Brexit was one of them, so why isn't the Digital Safety Act? Why not the housing of asylum seekers in hotels while British families sit on endless council waiting lists? The UK government is spending hundreds of millions housing migrants in 3-star hotels with meals, heating and security, while young people are locked out of home ownership and renting becomes unaffordable. This isn't just about compassion, it's about priorities. Shouldn't the public get to say in how their tax money is spent in the middle of a housing crisis? Not a Twitter poll, not a headline, a referendum, a direct vote. Because for many, this doesn't feel like democracy anymore. It feels like management without consent. Then there's the Online Safety Act. It sounds like protection. Who doesn't want kids safe online? The trade-off is mandatory ID to access certain content and a database that knows what every adult in the UK is viewing online. Now, did we vote for this? Because something this invasive, something that alters how we experience the internet, surely deserves more than a line in a party manifesto from 2019. Of course, not everyone agrees, and critics will say referendums are expensive, they polarise the country, and people vote emotionally, not logically. And that's all fair. But should we really accept that complexity justifies silence? Because not involving the public has consequences too. Growing mistrust, apathy towards government, and a sense of powerlessness. And that's arguably more dangerous than the occasional messy public vote. But what would the UK look like with more referendums? Not weekly votes on every small policy, but citizen-led ballots on the big stuff. Surveillance laws, mass spending initiatives, cultural or liberty or civil liberty decisions, national identity, privacy and taxation. We already vote for representatives, but once they're in, it's carte blanche. And when a party wins a general election, it's treated like a mandate to do everything in its manifesto, even if only 30% of the public actually voted for them. More referendums wouldn't mean less democracy, it would mean more meaningful democracy. Now, democracy isn't about filling out a ballot every 4 years and hoping for the best. It's about having a real say, especially on the issues that shape who we are as a country. If we can spend billions on policies people never voted for, if we can pass surveillance laws that change how we interact online, then surely we can afford to ask the people what they think. Because if democracy doesn't mean choice, then what does it mean?